Hello everyone. In this video, I will tell you what you need to know about Islam and Muhammad, which even a Muslim may not know. So watch this video until the end, okay? Islam is the name of the religion, while Muslim refers to its adherents. Many Muslims say that Islam means peace, sharing the same root as salam and shalom, but this is a lie. Islam does not mean peace, it means submission or surrender. The foundation of Islamic faith is found in two sentences known as the Shahada, which testify that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. If someone believes in the Shahada, they can be considered a Muslim, and if someone does not believe in it, they are not a Muslim. According to Islamic history, Muhammad was born in 570 in Mecca, to Abdullah bin Abdul Muttalib and Amina bint Wahab. Some Islamic sources state that Muhammad's original name was not given at birth, and his real name was Qasim or Qasim, but he later changed it to Muhammad. Abdullah died while Muhammad was still in the womb, and Amina died when Muhammad was 6 years old. After that, Muhammad was raised by his grandfather, Abdul Muttalib. But his grandfather also died shortly after, so Muhammad was then taken care of by his uncle, Abu Talib. As a teenager, Muhammad worked for a wealthy merchant named Khadija bint Khuwaylid. At 25, Muhammad married Khadija, a 40-year-old widow. Some Muslim scholars believe that Khadija was a Christian. During Khadija's lifetime, Muhammad had no other wives. In 610, when Muhammad was 40 years old, he often secluded himself in a cave called Hira. There, he encountered a being. The being choked Muhammad and ordered him to read something, but Muhammad could not read it. This happened 3 times, and finally, the being choked him and ordered him to read in the name of his Lord. But still, Muhammad could not read, so he ran back home. This event is considered as the first time Muhammad received the revelation. After that, Khadija took him to her cousin, a Nestorian Christian priest, named Waraka bin Nawfal. Waraka told Muhammad that the being he encountered was the angel Gabriel, and that Muhammad had been chosen to be a prophet. Khadija believed her cousin's words, and informed those around her, that Muhammad was a prophet, and Muhammad began to gain followers. When Waraka died, Muhammad no longer received revelations for a while, and he attempted to commit suicide several times, by climbing to the top of a mountain. But each time he attempted suicide, the angel Gabriel appeared, and convinced him that he was a prophet. The majority of Muslims believe that Muhammad was illiterate, because there is a verse in the Quran Surah 7 verse 158. Say, O Muhammad! O mankind, indeed I am the messenger of Allah to you all. From him to whom belongs the dominion of the heavens and the earth. There is no deity except him. He gives life and causes death. So believe in Allah and his messenger, the unlettered prophet. Who believes in Allah and his words, scriptures, and follow him that you may be guided. Around the year 613, Muhammad began to publicly spread his religion in Mecca, but he faced rejection, and his followers experienced persecution. This persecution led Muhammad's followers to migrate to Abyssinia, now known as Ethiopia, where they were accepted and protected by a Christian king called the Negus. Then in 622, Muhammad himself migrated to Yathrib, now known as Medina. This event is called the Hijra, which is why the Islamic calendar is known as the Hijri year. In Medina, Muhammad began to gain many followers, and started engaging in raids and looting. In 629, Muhammad led 10,000 men to attack and conquer Mecca. It is believed that Khadija had died before Muhammad migrated to Medina. After Khadija's death, Muhammad began to practice polygamy, marrying around 11 to 13 women. One of Muhammad's most famous and controversial wives was Aisha, whom he married at the age of 6, and consummated the marriage at the age of 9. At that time, Muhammad was 50 years old. Besides Aisha, another notable wife of Muhammad was Zainab bint Jahsh. She was Muhammad's cousin, initially married to Muhammad's adopted son, named Zayd bin Haritha. Zayd suspected that Muhammad wanted his wife, and asked Muhammad if he wanted him to divorce Zainab, so he could marry her. However, Muhammad hypocritically hid his feelings, and told him to keep his wife. Eventually, a verse in the Quran Surah 33 verse 37 was revealed, and Zayd divorced Zainab, allowing Muhammad to marry her. And remember, O Muhammad, when you said to the one, on whom Allah bestowed favor, and you bestowed favor, keep your wife and fear Allah. While you concealed within yourself, that which Allah is to disclose. And you feared the people, while Allah has more right that you fear Him. So when Zayd had no longer any need for her, we married her to you, in order that there not be upon the believers any discomfort, concerning the wives of their adopted sons, when they no longer have need of them. And ever is the command of Allah accomplished. From Muhammad's migration to Medina in 622, until his death in 632, there were at least 95 attacks, carried out by Muhammad's group. One of the most famous, is the attack on Khaybar in 628. This attack was not because Muhammad's group was attacked, but as part of Islamic expansion, and spreading the religion through war. Two incidents make this attack well known. The first, is that of a young Jewish girl, named Safiya bint Huyai, who was not yet 17, and was having a wedding celebration, when the event occurred. Her husband and family were slaughtered by Muhammad's group, and she was taken as a prisoner. One of Muhammad's followers, Dihya, asked Muhammad to have Safiya as his slave. Without checking, Muhammad agreed. But after Dihya left, another follower told Muhammad that Safiya was a very beautiful Jewish princess. Upon hearing this, Muhammad called Dihya back, and took Safiya for himself. Muhammad slept with Safiya that same night. The next incident involved another Jewish woman, named Zainab bint al-Harith, whose family was also slaughtered by Muhammad's group. She managed to poison Muhammad and his group with a dish of goat. One of Muhammad's followers, Bishr bin al-Bara, died on the spot. But Muhammad did not die immediately, as he only swallowed a little of the poisoned dish. Muhammad suffered from the effects of the poison for 4 years, and eventually died in 632, feeling as if his aorta was being cut. Sahih Bukhari 4428 records that before his death, Muhammad said to Aisha, "O Aisha, I still feel the pain caused by the food I ate at Khaybar. At this time, I feel my aorta being cut from that poison." Interestingly, the Quran Surah 69 verse 44 to 47 states that if Muhammad were a false prophet, he would die with his aorta cut. And if he, Muhammad, had made up about us some false sayings, we would have seized him by the right hand, then we would have cut from him the aorta. And there is no one of you who could prevent us from him. From this Islamic version of Muhammad's story, anyone with common sense and a moral conscience would conclude that Muhammad was not a good person. We might even tend to say, Muhammad was an immoral bandit leader. However, we must understand that Muslims are required to believe Muhammad is a sinless prophet with the most noble character. For them, Muhammad is a role model, an idol, and an identity. Jews have Moses, Christians have Jesus, and they have Muhammad. Therefore, they feel the need to honor, elevate, and defend Muhammad. For Muslims, hearing non-Muslims talk about Muhammad can be akin to hearing someone say, "Your father is a thief." Naturally, when we hear someone say our father is a thief, our first reaction is to deny it. Even if we cannot deny it, and our father is indeed a thief, our normal reaction is to defend him, because he is our father. This is what happens with Muslims when they hear non-Muslims talking about Muhammad. Even if what we convey is a fact, based on Islamic sources, such as Muhammad being a pedophile, because he slept with a 9-year-old girl, all Muslims will be angry, and say that we are insulting Muhammad. The reality is that many Muslims do not know that Muhammad slept with Aisha at the age of 9. Those Muslims will accuse us of slandering Muhammad. They will try to refute it by saying that Muhammad married Aisha when she was an adult. Muslims who know this cannot be refuted will try to justify it with various reasons, such as saying that at that time, sleeping with a 9-year-old was normal. The most dangerous Muslims are those who know that marrying an underage child was still inappropriate even in the past, have no other reasons to defend Muhammad's behavior, and still want to defend Muhammad to protect their honor and dignity. They might kill you, because the command to kill those who insult Muhammad exists in Islam. Of course, we talk to them, not because we want them to get angry and kill us. But we want them to stop idolizing and following Muhammad's behavior. Therefore we must be careful and choose our words wisely when talking to them. We cannot say to them, Muhammad was a pedophile, and expect them to immediately abandon Islam. But there are times when we must tell them that Muhammad is not their prophet. We must understand that when a Muslim realizes that Muhammad is not a prophet, they will experience an extraordinary inner turmoil. It is akin to someone finally realizing that the parents they have known all along are not their biological parents. They will experience a heavy blow, a loss of identity, and confusion about what to do next. One very interesting thing is that all stories about Muhammad, based on Islamic sources that we just discussed, only started appearing during the Abbasid dynasty around 750. About 120 years after Muhammad supposed to die, a person named Ibn Ishaq wrote a book titled Sirah Rasulullah, which tells his story. There are no records that mention Muhammad from the years 570 to 632. Meaning no one knew about Muhammad during that time, even though he allegedly fought 95 battles and conquered various areas. Even from 632 to 750, no Muslims made any records about Muhammad, even though he was supposedly a central figure in Islam. This raises a big question. Was Muhammad a historical figure or a fictional character? My conclusion after researching all the available evidence is that Muhammad is a fictional character inspired by several historical figures. A fictional character inspired by historical figures is like Santa Claus, who is a fictional character inspired by the historical figure, Saint Nicholas. Or like Dracula, who is a fictional character inspired by the historical figure Vlad III, Prince of Wallachia. However, the historical figures that inspired the character of Muhammad are not just one person. Several historical figures were compiled by Ibn Ishaq into one person, Muhammad, for the legitimacy of the Abbasid dynasty. The year 622, which marks the beginning of the Islamic calendar, was originally not called the Hijri year, but the Arab year. This was because, in that year, the Arabs gained independence from the Sassanid Persian dynasty, and were recognized by Emperor Heraclius of Byzantine Rome. It was long after the book Sirah Rasulullah by Ibn Ishaq that the calendar was called the Hijri year. Well, now you know about Islam and Muhammad more than average Muslims. Therefore, if you find this video useful, give a thumbs up and share this video as much as possible. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet. Additionally, everything I shared in this video is also written in a book I wrote. There is a lot of other information you can find in my book, and you can get it for free. The way is simply go to the address, bit.ly/howtoanswermuslim. You are free to read, print, share, and even sell it, without needing my permission, or giving me anything. Or if you want to buy the print version of this book, you can go to bit.ly/print-howtoanswermuslim. And if you'd like to support me, you can do it through patreon.com/openbiblica. That's all for this video. See you in the next one.
Yang nagbawangan dari kabawan, kepalanya sungsang, otaknya diselangkang. Surganya cuma batang yang mencari lubang, selalu mimpi disayang oleh para dayang. Hidungnya belang, mulutnya lancang, suka menantang. Dengan muka garang, tidak bisa menang. Kalau tidak curang, sering dapat uang. menggunakan parang, tapi ngaku dagang di Tanah Abang. Tapi ngaku dagang. Di tanah bawang yang terbelakang, pengetahuannya kurang, nuraninya hilang. Percaya Tuhan yang berhutang, untuk Nabi berperang. Suka barang beci semua orang, merampok para tukang yang bekerja di ladang. Memperbudak bujang dan perempuan yang malang. Baju putih dia pasang lalu pergi ke simpang. Ibadahnya adalah nampang supaya dikira nyumbang. Dongeng dia pegang, sejarah dia buang. Orang bawang yang sedang tegang, jangan kamu girang, jangan kamu sedang. Tidak ada gamang, tidak ada bimbang. Gerakan kamu datang, disiksa sampai ke tulang. Di atas seutas ban kamu akan dipanggang, sampai waktu yang panjang dan tidak terbilang. Hukumanmu seimbang dengan dosamu yang nyadang, jika kamu tidak pulang dari jalan pedang. Jadi tobatlah sekarang sebelum kesempatanmu melayang. Orang bawang yang sedang tegang, jangan kamu girang, jangan kamu sedang. Tidak ada gamang, tidak ada bimbang. Gerakan kamu datang, disiksa sampai ke tulang. Di atas seutas ban kamu akan dipanggang, sampai waktu yang panjang dan tidak terbilang. Hukumanmu seimbang dengan dosamu yang nyadang, jika kamu tidak pulang dari jalan pedang. Jadi tobatlah sekarang sebelum kesempatanmu melayang.